China's diplomats have spent the past year repairing ties and signing trade deals across Asia and Europe. At the same time, the People's Liberation Army in Fujian province has quietly been training for exactly the kind of island assault that would be needed to seize Taiwan. PLA's 73rd Group Army conducted amphibious drills in Fujian in May 2025 using Type 05 vehicles and civilian ferries for beach landings under live fire conditions. Similar exercises in 2024 involved RORO ferries for mass invasions. Night raids and port captures are simulated in Joint Sword series. These exercises unload infantry, armored vehicles, and combat engineers onto simulated beaches under live fire conditions. They even practice night raids by Special Forces helicopters aimed at capturing key western ports before Taiwan's defenders can react. On the water, Beijing made headlines this spring by sending both of its aircraft carriers into the Western Pacific together for the first time. Flanked by Type 052 destroyers, Type 054A frigates, and nuclear attack submarines, the two carrier strike groups rehearsed layered air defense, anti-submarine screens, and coordinated missile strikes. Capabilities vital for enforcing a naval blockade or covering an amphibious invasion along Taiwan's eastern shore. In the air, Taiwan's Ministry of Defense logged nearly 1,200 PLA sorties into its Air Defense Identification Zone between August 2024 and July 2025, a 35% jump over the previous year. H-6 bombers now fly in formation with J-16 fighters, practicing joint targeting on airbases, radar installations, and command centers across the island. Behind the scenes, China has overhauled its national defense mobilization system to cut the time between a wartime decision and actual deployment. New regional offices coordinate civilian transport, port access, and local militia activation. Stockpiles of fuel, ammunition, and mobile field hospitals now sit pre-positioned along Fujian's coast, shrinking an invasion timeline from weeks to days. Missile brigades in the Eastern Theater Command have also upgraded their arsenal. Units armed with DF-26 carrier killer missiles now patrol coastal islands, able to strike warships at sea or bases on land. Shore-based ballistic missile regiments have swapped old warheads for precision-guided explosives and shifted to mobile launchers, ensuring fast, dispersed strikes on Taiwan's defenses. Taipei hasn't waited. Its defense ministry is fast-tracking a new stealthy long-range anti-ship cruise missile designed to outrange China's carrier escorts and break through layered air defenses. It's also racing to expand drone fleets for early warning, surveillance, and improvised coastal denial tactics, though production still falls short of the 180,000 units per year goal. India navigates a delicate balance in its approach to Taiwan, adhering to the One China policy while deepening ties amid border tensions with China. Recognizing only the People's Republic of China diplomatically, India avoids formal relations with Taiwan but fosters robust economic, technological, and cultural connections. Bilateral trade, valued at $7 billion annually, thrives in semiconductors, electronics, and manufacturing, with Taiwan's TSMC eyeing Indian markets. Cultural exchanges and educational collaborations grow, alongside investments like Taiwan's $3 billion in India's tech sector. This pragmatic engagement strengthens India's strategic autonomy, leveraging Taiwan's expertise without provoking China, despite ongoing Himalayan disputes. Taken together, these steps show that China has moved beyond posturing into systematic invasion planning. Amphibious rehearsals, dual carrier operations, record airspace incursions, deep mobilization reforms, and upgraded missile forces all point to one conclusion: the PLA is readying for a takeover of Taiwan, and it may act once it judges that international resistance has weakened enough.